who are debuting in the Big Ten tournament for the first time. Get the field ready, get yourself ready, get your popcorn ready. We got the number 10 Indiana Hoosiers against the number 2 UCLA Bruins in game number 2 of our quarterfinal Thursday.
And on top of that, she pitched to Jen. We just went from Jordy Ball to another incredible two-way player within our conference.
And she swings at the first pitch, pops it up, and an over-the-shoulder grab by...
Nice and tight in on the hands with a good rise ball level.
The first two hitters, Copeland and Minnick, haven't gotten great contact, but you can see they're attacking these early pitches. And she gets hit in the back. Now Parker has started every game behind home plate, gives that one a ride. The first good contact by this Indiana hitters. All the way to the warning track. Slim had to trot on back. And so 2 away.
And then you look at the team they're playing. Also right up there is below that Iowa name.
And the runner goes. As Minnick is safe at second, but the throw gets away. And so she'll advance all the way to third base. And
teams who played yesterday, so they're coming in comfortable with the field. They've had at-bats recently off live pitchers.
And Mitchell goes down swinging. Well, Taylor Tinsley says, we'll take care of that in a tournament. Of course, they got to the championship game and were runners-up to Michigan last year. And Copeland was a very, very big part of that. And strikes out Clements, the first batter she sees.
And a screwball.
And she walked her.
They both looked at her after and said, that's not going to happen again.
They both immediately went to her, getting a hold of it. Woolery gives it a ride, and just like that, UCLA on the board, and the 20th homer for Woolery this season.
Finalist for Player of the Year, showing off why she gives this one for a ride. Even more impressive, the fact that it is opposite field with so much power. And you can see the joy, the excitement. This is...
But certainly growing up in Steph Curry territory, and here is Grant also. Takes it all the way to the wall. She has extra paces, and so Woolery and Grant in their first at-bats of the Big Ten tournament, not disappointing. And I'm sure she does sometimes in the offseason, but always comes up with some phrases that is very relatable. And Ramirez swings at the first pitch. And Grant will hold tight at third base, so a first and third situation.
They finished second in a conference or first. In the last 10 years, they've done it consecutively.
A bouncing ball off the glove of Indiana. That'll allow Grant to score the third run and safe at second base. And so Slim getting that extra base.
You talked about being hungry. Well, this UCLA team is not satisfied with anything. A great job by Ramirez going all the way over to third. But then for Slim to follow up her hit, read the defense. If you give them an inch, they're going to take it and expose you to.
3 balls, 1 strike. Ground ball to third base and keeps the runner there, and the out is made, so 2 away. Well, Rico swings at the first pitch. A lot of first pitch swinging here in this lineup, and chasing it down is Kettleman in right field. But UCLA and hunting that one down. Van Brandt flies out to left field. And so a few fly ball outs here for Tinsley to open up.
And that's where she's gonna really produce most of her outs, and it's gonna be on the pitch.
And here we have another youngster, Madeline Strader, a freshman, swings at the first pitch. And it's just like warm-up time here for this UCLA defense.
We're creeping a little bit too much white on the plate, and she's cleaned up her level so far today because she likes to run, hit her as high and tight. And every once in a while can miss just a little bit, but even a miss like that,
Wilkinson, it was a hit and run, and the throw is on the money. UCLA was not fooled at all. And Ramirez, they call her lefty, and lefty.
Exactly.
And the new technology that has evolved in the game of softball the last couple of years. And a slap hit right to the third baseman, Strader. And so Terry is taken care of. Against Clements, the leadoff hitter in the top of the order, Jessica Clements, struck out against Copeland, but draws the walk here in her second at bat.
Second baseman, number 5, Savannah Pola.
And similar throughout the rest. So you're very patient when the new pitcher coming in until she establishes she can throw a strike.
Another potential hit and run, but the runner is thrown out. And Clements gunned down by Avery Parker behind the ball. Still at the plate for this at-bat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A bouncer off the glove of Hess. And look at the shortstop coming over, almost making the play. Cooper was right there, but Pola legs it out.
Especially if you feel you're a little bit late delivering your barrel against any type of pitcher.
Oh, another strikeout. And so an impressive showing by Taylor Hess to strike out one of the best. Here for Shonda Stanton and the Hoosiers, who trail by 3 runs in the top of the third. And again, handcuffs her. A ball to Bragg, who handles it. The first out.
Tinsley being so crafty. And
Mitchell to end the first inning. Here's the full count. Hard ground ball, a one-hopper to Grant, who was down on one knee to handle that one.
And Grant almost set up like she...
Bats against Taylor Tinsley. And Copeland popped up to Grant in her first time up. And this time she grabs a hold of it and it drops into shallow center for a 2-out single for Copeland.
Time in a postseason situation.
And Minnick takes one to right field up and over the head of Terry. Copeland rounding third base in a dive head first. And Indiana's on the board. Minnick picks up the RBI. And it's a 3-1 UCLA lead.
In return, it's one of the other best duos in the country. The 1-2, Copeland and Minnick. Minnick takes this one for a ride. And Terry was reading it off the bat, trying to see how deep it could go. Did a nice job eventually pulling up, understanding it would need to be a relay throw. But once you get Copeland going, she cannot be stopped.
Indiana says we have our own 1-2 punch in the lineup. It's not just a Woolery Grant thing to talk about. First pitch swinging for Parker, and Minnick comes on home, and just like that, Indiana has cut the lead to
1. Indiana has finally gotten on time to the rise ball against Taylor Tinsley. What a nice job. That one leaks back through over the plate, taking advantage of it. And with 2 outs, runners continue to stay within motion. And swing on.
which is being exemplified here in the third when they were trailing by 3 runs. And another walk here. So this inning continues.
10 second team, all Big Ten freshman team, and all tournament team. So somebody who has shown up in this tournament before.
And Van Brandt, fly ball to center field, backpedaling is Clements. And the inning is over. 12 who made the Big Ten tournament. One hopper handled by Strader. She had to wait on it a little bit, timed it perfectly, and took her time to make the throw in the play.
We have seen some incredible defense.
You see Alexis Ramirez at the plate. She swung at the first pitch, and she swings at this first pitch. She's seen 2 pitches and has gotten 2 hits here today.
Sometimes the ball looks like a beach.
Slip barely gets a hold of that off the end of the bat, and the rocket arm there by Strader to finish off the play.
against a UCLA team who is fired up from the plate to the dugout.
Uh-oh, Ramirez got caught, she's tumbled, and the out is made at second base. And so UCLA can't produce with a runner in scoring position, and credit Avery Parker once again.
She threw somebody out at second, this time with the back pick on the slip of Ramirez to continue to give Indiana the advantage.
It's crazy.
5 games, 1 week before the Big Ten tournament.
It was even a little bit challenging for them to get to West Lafayette. First pitch there, or the first championships. And they have certainly set the standard in the softball world and continue to do it even this year. Another infield pop-up with the first 2 batters in the top of the 4th.
To the top as many times as possible within a game.
The full count once again. Wilkinson into the air, into shallow center, and a few Bruin defenders that Bragg, the 7, 8, 9 hitters, and that's hard hit. A ground ball, backhanded stab by Van Brandt, who can't finish it off with the throw. But a valiant effort by the second base. Not scored a run. They got 3 in the bottom of the 1st and haven't scored since.
It's been the way that she has done a good job managing the zone.
And Mojica, fly ball to left field. Here in the Big Ten tournament, Oregon will make its debut later tonight. And Terry swings at that one, and charging in is Minnick, who is responsible for the last 2 outs, Indiana. And she struck out in her first time up against Bree Copeland. That's off the glove, though, of Parker, and it allows Hatch to take second base.
Clemens is somebody who came to UCLA on her last. It looks like Copeland actually lost the ball during a warm-up. Came onto the field to retrieve the softball and said, my bad, let me go back to warming up.
And a 4-pitch walk to Clemens. Driven ball to right field through the infield. Hatch rounding third and scoring UCLA's 4th run of the game to give them a 2-run edge. And an RBI for Pola as she continues to thrive at the plate today.
Pola staying patient, waiting for her pitch to then deliver on a curveball that never gets quite far enough on the outer half of the plate. Sends it through the 3-4 hole. This Bruin team continues to love doing damage when there's 2 outs on the board.
And a high pop-up into foul territory. No, it's fair territory, and coming over is the shortstop, Alex Cooper, to make the play.
Times as they can, they're gonna have an opportunity to do so this inning.
It's Alex Cooper swinging at the first pitch and flies out to left field, 1 away. Tinsley is throwing. You might not want to, wreck up this or break up this rhythm.
And that's where a staff, how they have, is built for tournaments like this where you have to play every single day.
And Copeland draws the walk. And drives one to left. It's a fair ball. Copeland with speed getting sent home. Shonda Stanton sending her. The throw is made. It's out of the glove, and Copeland is safe. Indiana cuts the lead to 1.
A line drive sent to opposite field will get Brianna Copeland in motion, coming from third space all the way around. She does not break stride as she goes past third base. She trusts Shauna Stanton, who's going to send her home. She's so physical. Goes right into the plate, knocks Ramirez over, and the ball out of the glove to tie this, to go with.
And so they're looking at, we talk about the physicality, they're looking at a malicious possible play here from Copeland with the contact made. And what do you see?
What I see is Copeland's coming in straight towards the plate. Unfortunately, she does hit the left knee of Ramirez. However, if she were to be going directly at Ramirez in this situation, there is enough of her that I feel holds up.
And this is the longest that she's played as a catcher in some time. Okay, so the call stands. Indiana. Avery Parker at the plate. with Minnick 60 feet away. And Parker handcuffed and pops it up for the second out.
What a great job.
By staying in behind home plate there for UCLA. You know, she was limited about 3 innings when she started in the catching spot against Northwestern. A hard driven ball by Mitchell as Minnick scores, and we're locked here at 4. Indiana has come all the way to tie it up in the quarterfinal.
Doing a great job staying patient. She recognizes this off-speed pitch out of the hand, waits on her back leg to then drive it through the infield. You can see the emotion. Minnick crossing home.
Looking to keep this rally going. That's going to be a tough play. But getting to it is Bragg.
Take that deep breath after between every single pitch. Someone who's put in so much work in the off-season with sports psych, focusing on the mental side.
And Grant trying to hunt down the gap. And instead, it's the first time she'll actually see a 2-pitch count. And she swings at that one. A high, deep fly ball. And it's Minnick gets underneath it. 2 away.
Especially for this team that's had so much success, and Coach Inouye Perez giving a lot of credit to Lisa Fernandez, saying this is her best year she's ever seen her coach, especially with so many new faces coming in this lineup, really being able to put her thumbprint on it.
Gave up 2 earned runs, gave up the home run to Jordan Woolery. And a pop-up there, and Cooper adjusting her feet and her balance and doing a good job making that defensive play. UCLA, no score in the bottom of the 5th. After knocking off Northwestern last night. Right back up the middle. And that is Strader, who didn't waste any time with a leadoff single.
I was talking to her because the great part about being in Indiana, she's been able to help out her daughter who's getting married soon.
And laying down the bunt, that's part of the conversation too by Bird, and the sac bunt to move Strader over to second base. Wilkinson, fly ball to right field and 2 away. All of these batters here in this
circle.
And Cooper, fly ball to left field. And they leave a runner at second base stranded here for Indiana on Thursday for the first time. And Mojica cranks one, a high fly ball, but it's out of the glove of Kettleman.
I was questioning it.
And it takes kind of an errant bounce, but it's Van Brandt at second base, so what could have been maybe extra bases.
That's one thing we talked to length with the coaching staff about, how Terry's so unique being a slapper. Somebody who shows so much explosion through the box.
Or a bunter like there, and Copeland fields her position. 2 outs. The count goes full. And Clemens drills one, it drops in. She's thinking about taking 2, she'll retreat back to first base. And it's a... hard ground ball, look at Copeland reaching out to get that, wow! Copeland drives one to center field. And she's aboard with a leadoff single.
So close, but not finishing the deal have motivated them to work extra hard.
A couple of doubles here for Minnick, who flies it to left field, and Copeland will stay put at first base. That is no easy task to get Taylor Minnick out. A couple of doubles, she was hit. An RBI single to her name in the 3rd. Parker drives one to left to the warning track, chases it down, is slim. And so Copeland's getting stranded there at first base after the leadoff single.
Tinsley's done a nice job quieting every hitter since.
And there goes Copeland, diving head first. She's off the bag. The throw is on the money. Hey, lefty Alexis Ramirez does it again for you.
And now even in these moments.
And Woolery drives one to left to the wall, off the wall. And great job by the Indiana outfielders to keep her at first base.
That might be one of these come.
Grant drives one to right field. And Pinedo's gonna take third base. So head first dive. She goes from first to third and runners at the corners.
Up and then look to face Slimp, who's in the on-deck circle.
It's a decision that makes sense to me. I mean, Ramirez is a player that's got a couple of hits here so far.
For Slimp, just not trying to do too much.
A high chopper. Copeland can't handle it. UCLA walks it off. The first Bruins walk-off of the season comes in the debut game of the Big Ten tournament for the program.
For this Bruins squad, they threw out a 3-punch early in the game. They stuck with it enough. So when Copeland came back on the mound, they were able to be efficient and to deliver that final run. Taylor Tinsley with the complete game that kept them in position to have this type of performance. And you know Copeland's an athlete, and this is one that she routinely makes, but when the game runs on the line, you're thinking about where you want to go next with the ball, and the speed on the base pass eventually leads.
Riley Pinedo, head first dive. You see that speed, and it's the game-winning walk-off run as the pinch runner, and UCLA stays alive and punches its ticket into the Big Ten tournament semis.
And the moment between this team to understand what this means now coming into new conference, asserting their dominance that has been around forever in the sport of college softball, and to now see it on the biggest stage within the Big Ten Conference.